Welcome to another episode of the Hansen Brothers Podcast. It's November, it's a bit of silly season, and it's downtime in rallycross, extreme age, all of these things. And but as motorsport fans, we still like to follow whatever is going on. And I think the main storyline right now in the world of motorsport is the Formula One World Championship. It's heating up to become really tense. Norris leading ahead of Piastri. Piastri was leading for most of the season, I believe. Max is still there in the mix, and the Las Vegas Grand Prix is coming up this weekend. And yeah, we both like to watch Formula One, both me and Kevin. So
yeah,
and I guess you
100%.
too. I guess you got your listeners too. So let's dive into what we think will happen for the end of the season.
Yeah, I think it's important here to get stuck in. We want to do a little, follow the end of the season because this is what everybody been waiting for over 8 months or whatever they've been racing now since March. So it's time to get stuck in really when the world of motorsport is coming to the focus of the Formula One World Championship with all the other World Championships being finished. And like you said, it's an incredible battle. And from our perspective, I think, we as drivers, we can relate in many ways, as we mentioned the last episode, on what they are going through, what's happening, and we want to bring everyone our opinion from the driver's perspective, because there's a lot of conversations out there around Formula One, but there's not too many drivers giving too much thoughts and input. So let's do the end first. I think we need to get our point started, just to start a little mini series of Formula One podcasts here. We need to start with, who do you think is going to win the Formula One World Championship, Timmy, and also for me? And then we can see if we were right in 4 weeks' time.
Yeah, I think the key part to weigh into this is, like, we both have experience of being in this championship battle, and I have lost it more times than I have won it. Obviously, I won it one time in 2019, but I lost against Solberg in 2015. I lost against Christopherson in 21. Those were the 2 times when it was super close, like going to the last race of the season. It is tough to be in that position, like in a championship situation. I guess there's also Nitro 21 that I also lost. I lost in 2021. I lost the World Championship by 1 point, equal on points actually, and I was third in Nitro Cross, 1 point behind the win as well. So I know very well what it's like to lose out on a championship, all too well, unfortunately.
So you can give us the insight of what not to do, I guess, here.
Yeah, I have one example of how to do it as well. But the thing is, when you're in that situation and you have a whole year of a story and results and performance, good luck, bad luck, you have all that in the back of your head. It feels like a whole season. And, honestly, if it's your first championship, like it is for Lando and Oscar, it feels like your whole career has come down to this point. So it's much more, standing on the start line in one of these races, it's much more than a normal race. And that's what makes it special. It makes it great to watch when we see the nerves. But from inside the car, it's very different to run a normal race, I think.
Yeah, and it's also the beauty, I think, of Formula One, especially the Grand Prix only weekends, not the sprints, that everything does come down to one launch, one race, 1-2 pit stops. It's so few things that you get an opportunity. It's only those few moments you get one opportunity shot at. And when you come down to a championship like this, you say all the weight on shoulders, all the history from the year on your shoulders, everything adds up race by race. Like you said, the storyline just keeps building on your shoulders. And we see that from Max as well. I think that, he's chasing the gold story is adding up too. Like, they were going good momentum, the pressure starts building up that it may be possible, and that in the end of the day is one of the big features, I think, when you come down to a championship fight, managing that. But if you just look at, we still need to answer the question here, who we think is going to win. Yeah. But if you just dive into, Max has won World Championship. He's also been in the fight in the end earlier in his career to lose them in F1. And Lando lost out last year. to Max. He was the only one to be able to challenge. And then obviously Oscar, this is the first time he's running for a championship. So 3 very different perspectives from drivers. One multiple champion and also lost out. One that's lost out before and been in a championship hunt, and one that is the first ever time in the championship hunt. So I think the mountain to climb is very different for all 3. And if I'm just gonna put up my vote here, what I think from a driver's perspective, looking at all these different perspectives before we dive into them over the next couple of weeks and this podcast as well, I'm gonna put my bet on Lando.
Yeah, I mean, it is the easy bet to take, but he also has the more difficult job ahead. Like he's the one who has the lead. He's the one who doesn't need to win. And although that sounds easy on paper, like your normal race, you don't go out and try not to lose. You try to win every race you go out to. But in a situation where you don't have to win to secure the championship, like the driving becomes very different. So it's actually like the harder job to maintain first than like mentally, because Oscar and Max, I think Max is kind of out of it now. I mean, it's only 3 races to go, and it's how many points? I think it's like 50 points behind almost.
Yeah, he's
40,
a big chunk behind.
48 or something. So I think that, unless Max wins all 3 remaining races and the McLarens like DNF and so on, Max is more or less out. So it's between Oscar Piastri and Lando Norris. And what Oscar was having to do for a while
49 points behind Lando.
Yeah. So what Oscar has had to do for a while now is to defend his lead. And I think we've seen him not doing very well at the races because he's trying to defend, he's trying to do decent jobs, and in the end of qualifying, you want to secure a little bit, but at that level, you can't leave anything on the line. Whereas Lando has been the one really pushing. So I think the roles is going to switch a little bit towards the end of the year. I mean, it obviously comes down to who's the faster driver. But mentally, I think that Oscar has an easier target in front. He just has to win 3 races. Lando can secure a bit, and is he solid enough mentally to do that? That's what the question is. I'm gonna go with Oscar then to spice things up.
Sounds like it, yeah. I believe the mindset that Lando currently has that that you see through both TV and when I spoke to him on the karting, like everything of these things, I just feel like if I was gonna go for a world championship, I would follow the same like I would have the same approach as he has. I think that's for sure the best.
So what
best
is he
approach.
doing?
It's just his mindset. It's how he speaks. It's how he focuses. His focus is on going racing, and that's the only thing that matters in the end of the day.
Yeah, true. I mean, if you the best way to handle a championship is to not know about the championship. Like you just
that's
go
the
out
biggest
and you
challenge.
race. That's
and you can see he's struggling a little bit. He says, I'm gonna don't care what anyone says, but that just shows that he is thinking about it, but he has to actively really try and push that out. But
yeah,
that's his challenge now. If he's able to do that, then he has won the mental. This is all. They have the same car, they have the same opportunity. There's 100% no favoring. In the end of the day, when they stand on the start line, they're in 2 different opportunities on the racetrack. Obviously, they're not side by side constantly doing the race, so they can't get the same strategy call. So there's a little bit of different always what the call is going to be. But in the end of the day, they have the same race car, they have the same opportunity, both very talented. It comes down to who has the strongest mind and who gathers also their people around them the best, I think, at the moment. So who knows? Maybe Mark Webber will step into Oscar's mind and really push him to a direction where he will miraculously become the first time he puts in the situation, he becomes the world champion, or he won't, or maybe Lando will do that. Or they will both crumble, crash, get stress, and Maxi will come through and take the title. This is, that's the question. Is Max completely out of the title fight? I'm not sure, because we will see. I think especially I think the Vegas race is high pressure. The balls everywhere, super high speed. It's one of those. If if Lando does well, he can win the title in Qatar. So it's a big breaking point. And if both McLarens fail because they want to make that big difference, Max can capitalize and be fully back in the game for the last two races and the sprint.
Yeah. I think if you're the driver or the team and you make this kind of interview, like how are you feeling before the race, you will answer something like, yeah, I'm good. I'm chilling. I just want to go and race, because that's the way that like internally you have to deal with it. But like right here now, we are like on the podcast. We need to bring up all the things that are in the back of your head that you're trying not to take over. If you just like, if you have no mental strength and you let all the thoughts take over, like then it's gonna be
Yeah,
too
what
much.
happens then?
Yeah, exactly. It's gonna be too much for you. Like I would, if some of my thoughts that's gone through my head in all of these years when I've been in championship fights, like I just want to go and dig a hole and lay in the hole and die. But
We're done with it. I think what comes to mind, I think you can agree, is it's it's millions of scenarios that you play out in your head, that you think about the future. And being in a title fight, I think it's 100% fully an anxious feeling. It's
yeah, but
just
then mental
it's just
strength.
anxiousness.
Mental strength is about, like, yes, those thoughts exist. Those thoughts will come to anyone who is in that situation. But the goal as being an athlete is to just do your sport, and that's what you've done all your life to get to that point. Whether it's winning the football World Cup, if it's the Stanley Cup, if it's the Wimbledon, whatever it is, it's just playing your sport or doing your sport
Yeah,
again,
to the best you can. Yeah.
for the millionth time. But then, like, these thoughts will come in the back of your head, and mental strength is about like understanding that yes, they are there, but they don't have to define me. Like, and I will now choose to put my focus where it's best. And that's why you hear all of the championship interviews being super chill, because you have to say what you want to feel. It's like you can't say just
Yeah,
what you feel and say all of these thoughts. You have to kind of say, like, fake it until you make it kind of thing. Like, I'm just gonna
for
say I'm
sure.
chill, and then I'm gonna be chill. Like that's how to deal. That's how I've dealt with it. Like, you have to say in
It's
all of the interviews, act super confident, because that gives you confidence.
it's
And
kind of the thing where if you say things out loud, you do hear what you say yourself. It's like kind of it's how it works. But then the other side, it the mind keeps fighting you. It keeps thinking, what happens? What happens if I don't take this start? Then I'm here. What do I do then? What does that mean for my points? What does that mean for this? What does that mean for that? And that, I think, is the is the issue. You need to stay. That's what they say. It's so simple sometimes. You need to stay focused on driving, but the more things that we're human, we will be afraid of being, judged by people, because that's the risk of being put in a spotlight in society. We're not made to be like that as human beings. If you think thousands of years back, that's a risk of being exposed as a weak person. That's what you don't want to lose. You want to win. You want to be shown as the strongest.
adrenaline in the body is like made to make you fight, like fight or flight. Like, you want to run and hide, or you want to go and fight. That's like what the human animal, I don't know,
Yeah,
thousands of years ago was like, this is what evolution came up with. But now we live in this weird world where we do sports, and like, imagine holding a golf club or being a gamer. Like, you're holding your mouse and the keyboard, and you're so stressed. When gamers have like the heart rate sensor on, and they have like 170 beats per minute, but they still have to be that, mega accurate with the mouse. Like, it's not, you can't run or fight. Now you have to do this weird thing that today's society, what sports has put us into. But like, I think we enjoy these points of watching sports, and you and I, we're just fans now of Formula One, and we can talk about it. you love when, you know, the nerves and the human side of people shine through a little bit. Like when Oscar crashed in Baku, like it's a very unusual mistake. He had a bad start, blah blah blah. He was in the back, he was trying to catch up too fast, and he crashed. And when like great sports people turn human and relatable, like that's fantastic entertainment. And you like picture yourself in that moment, like, oh, you know, how would I deal with it? Also, when they crash, you sit in the couch and you say, ha, that's so bad.
Oh,
You
how
know?
silly. But it's like I read or I watched a video of Roger Federer once speaking for some college or university in Switzerland, and he said, he's one of the most successful, as everyone knows, but he said on something around the lines of, I've only won 53% of all the
Yeah, I've seen the
holes
one.
I have played,
Yeah.
and the 40, as I say, 50, so 47% he lost, but still 53 made him the greatest player. Like it's so many mistakes that you will make, and the pressure will come through. But you just have to keep focus on the points that you need to do, which is play your sport or do your sport to the best that you know, and not let your adrenaline take over, because adrenaline is instinct and not strategic. It's just impulse, and sometimes that is great. That's what, if you have a moment, Max, for example, in Brazil, losing the rear in the wet a few years ago, saves it. Instinct, adrenaline. Whew, what do? It just takes over. But you don't want that to take over in places like this when you need to consistently deliver what you need to do. I think.
Yeah.
You can't let yourself get to a point where that adrenaline takes over, where, for example, Oscar, bad start, adrenaline, shit, I'm behind, I need to catch up, stress, need to, like, fight, pushes the brake too late, crashes, disaster.
Yeah. And he's usually Mr.
Yeah.
Consistent. I'm hoping for Vegas to like really go in the favor of the championship, not in either direction, or I guess in Piastri's direction then, or Max's direction. So it gets tight because we want to see everything come down to the last race. That's what everyone dreams of. But
you want to see Lewis Hamilton, Max Verstappen vibes again.
Yeah.
Whoever wins 2021, you know?
Exactly. Now that's what we want to see. Back home in the couch, that's fine to deal with. You know, the drivers, they will want the opposite. They will want, Lando will want it to be over immediately. That he wins and the other two crashes, and then that's job done.
Do you also sit in the couch when things happen that you can picture yourself being, you know how much it means to get something right? You also notice that your heart rate goes so much higher.
Yeah.
Sitting in the couch, I get so fully involved. I'm like, this has to be good now, because that needs to, if that's not good, then everything will fail. Like I play all of these scenarios in my own head, because I want to live them with these people, and I sit there and heart rate go up. And that's why sport is great.
That's the beauty of sport. Like makes you feel something in front of the TV, especially in moments like these. So I'm excited. I'm gonna be watching the race. Also, Vegas is really cool. We raced just next to the F1 pit building in Nitrocross. What is it? Last year? Started last year?
2024?
2024. It's the start of 24. Yeah, I did the race there, and then like in the night, jumping picture with a sphere in the background, just next to the strip. And like it's a cool atmosphere, Vegas. So it's cool that they have a Formula One race also. You know, they've completely remade the strip, the main street to host the race. Like it's insane what Formula One is able to pull off, and now like Vegas turns into Formula One. It's gonna be like nice to watch also everything else around the race. It's such a iconic race at this point.
Yeah. Shame it's 4 a.m. UK time, 5 a.m. Swedish time, the race and qualifying starts. It's not really made for us European viewers this time. But I do think we have to also mention, just before we wrap up this week and give some predictions for the race, if you think of pressure, you want to achieve something like a world title, sure. But then also, if you think about Constructor Championship with Ferrari, Red Bull, Mercedes, all have like huge pressure to deliver a financial result for their team. Can you imagine sitting on the start line knowing, if we deliver our team gets like 20, 30, 40 million more paycheck. It's quite an important job. The hour rate to get that money from now is quite impressive.
It's a lot of money on the line.
It's really a team. That's a team doing also now, because they need to get both strategy and car setup and drivers, everything really put into a good position here to try and get back to a good place.
Who's winning, Kevin?
For the race in Vegas, it's straight line speed also. I think Max is going to win. I think Lando is going to be second. And I think Russell is going to be third.
All right. I hope that Oscar wins, just for the championship to tighten up. But I don't feel like he's going to. But let's just say Oscar, just because I want it. And then I think Russell will be second, and Max will finish third. No, Max.
It's not even Lando on the podium. It's gonna
It's
crumble.
because I hope that won't happen. Like I just want the championship to be tight. Let's see.
That's a good prediction.
That's a prediction.
So no, Ferrari won't be quick then either. It sounds like none of us had them on the top.
That was corrupt the strategy, but that's a given. All right. Catch you back here, same place, same time next week. New episode drops every Thursday. If you made it this far, just give it a like. It really helps us. Thank you for listening this time, and catch you soon. Bye-bye.
Bye.